Okay, we can start now. Thank you everyone for joining in. Those who are joining us online, welcome and Hare Krishna to everyone. Let's get started with the prayers. So I request everyone, please fold your hands and join me in chanting prayers.
Namo
Namo Vishnu
Vishnupadaya
Padaya Krishna
Krishnaya
Prishthaya
Bhutale
Bhutale
Srimate
Srimate
Bhaktivedanta
Bhaktivedanta
Swamin
Swamin
Namine
Namaste
Namaste Saraswate
Saraswate
Deve
Deve
Gauravani
Gauravani
Pracharine
Pracharine
Nirvisesha
Nirvishesha
Shunyavadi
Bhasha
Bhasha
Dadeshadarine
Jai
Jai
Shri
Shri
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri
Shri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara
Srivasadi
Srivasadi Gaur
Bhaktivinoda
Bhaktivinoda
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna. So with this, we come to this
Last
last
session
session
in this
in the
series,
series.
we've
We've
been
been
discussing
discussing
the
the
six
six
promises
promises
of
of
Krishna
Krishna
in
in
Bhagavad
Bhagavad
Gita.
Gita.
And
And
I
I
hope
hope
that
that
everybody
everybody
remembers
remembers
what
what
we
we
have
have
discussed
discussed
so
so
far.
far.
At
At
least
least
six
six
verses.
verses. Bhagavad Gita,
Every
every
verse
verse
is
is
important,
important,
but
but we
we
are
are
discussing
discussing
these
these
six
six verses
verses
as
as
promise
promise
of
of
Krishna.
Krishna.
So
So
we
we
discussed
discussed
last
last
time
time
Krishna
Krishna
is
is
explaining,
explaining,
Krishna
Krishna
was
was
explaining
explaining
the
the
topmost
topmost
knowledge,
knowledge,
the
the
most
most
confidential
confidential
knowledge.
knowledge.
Param
Param
Moya Shno Mai Param Vacha. And then
Krishna
Krishna explained
explained
the
the
verse.
verse.
No,
No,
I'm
I'm
not
not
sure
sure
what
what
was
was
getting the
the
feedback.
feedback.
Let me just
Just
once
once
again
again
check.
check.
No,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
that
that
verse
verse
was,
was,
which
which
is
is
considered
considered
the
the
most
most
confidential
confidential
knowledge.
knowledge.
And
And
that
that
verse
verse
is
is
Manmana
Manmana
Bhavavan Bhakto Madhyaji Mamanasu. So
So
Krishna
Krishna
talks
talks
about
about
the
the
four
four
items.
items.
Did
Did
you
you
listen
listen
to
to
that
that
audio
audio
from
from
Jew?
Jew?
You
I
have
had
to
to
leave
leave
this
this
audio
audio
from
from
Jew.
Jew.
I'm
I'm
getting
getting
feedback.
sorry for the distraction. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Is
Is
it
it
okay?
okay?
No,
No,
it
it
is
is going actually.
I'm
I'm
getting
getting
messages
messages
also.
also, yeah. I think that's, I'll leave the audio. Hare Krishna. Is it good? Can someone confirm those who are online? Still echoing?
Better.
Yeah.
No, yes, no, it is good.
Better.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let us come back to our discussion on the distraction. Technology also sometimes distract us. Okay, so we are talking about the most confidential knowledge that Krishna explains. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So four items. We have to become the devotee, we have to always think of Krishna. So I already explained the flow of that, how Krishna is coming to that kind of instruction, because Krishna spoke a lot of items in Bhagavad Gita, different kind of knowledge in Bhagavad Gita. And then in 18.63, it's kind of ending Bhagavad Gita. He says, Karishye, he says, Yatha Ichchasi Tatha Kuru. Now I've spoken everything to you. Now you deliberate and then you do whatever you desire. So it's kind of a conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. But then Arjuna seems to be like still confused that what I should do. You spoke so many things. I don't know what is the last thing. So then Krishna again picks up from there and then he says, okay, now what I'm going to tell you is the most confidential knowledge. And then Krishna spoke 18.65. Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto. Like that. So we discussed that. And after that, in today's verse, which is considered the most important verse, one of the most important verse, and this is the conclusion of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So if you say that we read the entire Bhagavad Gita, but we forgot everything, we attended all the sessions, we forgot everything, we don't remember anything, then just remember this one thing. And this is the verse which is considered as the conclusion of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So that will be discussing from the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, the sixth promise today. And This is the verse 18.66. Very, very famous verse. Some of you might be already familiar with this verse. So we'll get into discussion and understand the deeper meaning of this verse. But before that, let us just try to chant maybe just 2-3 times to get familiar with the words and the meaning, the words of the verse. Okay, so please repeat after me. And those who are joining us online, please repeat on mute. Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja
मामेकं शरणं व्रज
Aham Dvam Sarvapapebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Suchaha
मोक्षस्य
Sarvadharman Parityajya
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य
Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Dvam Sarvapapebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Suchaha. Okay, so one more last time we'll chant. Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja
मामेकं शरणं व्रज
Aham Tvam Sarvapapebhyo
अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो
Mokshayishyami Ma Suchaha. Okay, so very, very important verse. And as I said, this is the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. In case you forget everything, don't forget this verse. And Krishna is saying, I'll explain the meaning. Well, let me just explain. So this verse says, Krishna is saying something interesting here, which sounds a little contradictory, but that is what we need to discuss in our discussion today. So Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharman, all varieties of dharma. Dharman is not using the word dharma, saying dharman. Dharman is like the plural, not only just one dharma, many, many different kind of dharmas. And we have discussed the dharmas means basically the occupational duty. So Krishna is saying, Sarv Dharman, all varieties of religion, Parityaja. Tyaja means to give up. So he says, give up all varieties of religion, abandon all varieties of religion. So now somebody might wonder, like, what is this Krishna is talking? Very contradictory. Because Krishna, in the earlier discussions, and you see in the earlier chapters, especially in the 4th chapter, Krishna has discussed about the purpose of his advent, why he comes in this material world. Anybody remembers what is the reason for Krishna to come here in this world? The famous verse. Yes, and yes, that is one. And then before that, there is a verse, famous verse. What is that?
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
That's the right one. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata. So whenever there is a dharmasya glani, means there is a decline in the religious principles, and abhyuthanam adharmasya, adharma, the non-religious practices, they rise. So these are the two things. The religious principles are declining and non-religious propaganda is rising. Dharma sanstapna arthaya sambhavami yuga yuga. So then I descend to establish the principles of dharma. Dharma sanstapna arthaya. So Krishna has clearly established that the purpose of my advent in this material world is to establish the dharma. Whenever there is a decline in religion, I come and establish. And now what Krishna is talking here is just contradictory. That I come for establishing dharma, but now what I'm saying is give up all dharma. How do you understand that? It's very contradictory, right? So what Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, okay, give up all varieties, then what to do? So he's saying, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Sharan means the shelter. And whose shelter you should go? Okay, you gave up all the varieties of religion, everything. And what next? Take the shelter, take the Sharan. Whose shelter? There are 330 million demigods in our scriptures, including Brahma, Shiva, Durga, and so many more. 330 millions. So which one to pick? One of your favorite? Krishna is saying, Mam Ekam. Just only in my shelter. Take my shelter. And then what will happen? We have given up all the religion, all the principles of religious practices. You're asking us to surrender. Okay, we surrender to you. What will happen next? then Krishna is giving the promise. So because we are talking about the promises, discussing the promises, this is Krishna's promise here. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami. So he says, if you surrender unto me, then I'll deliver you. Aham tvam, all yours, sarva papebhyo. Whatever sinful activities, whatever misdeeds, knowingly, unknowingly in the past, you might have done, mokshishyami. I'll deliver you. I'll freeze you from all the sinful reactions if you surrender unto me. Say, no, 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 you are talking all those things. What if you don't do that? So then there is assurance is given. He says, Ma Sucha, meaning do not fear. So Krishna is saying, don't have any doubt on my words. That if you surrender to me, I'll probably not take care. Don't have that doubt. Do not fear. If you surrender unto me, then I'll deliver you from all your sinful reactions. So that is the verse. Sarva dharman parityaja, mam ekam sharanam raja, aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshishyami ma sucha. So now let us understand this verse more in a more detailed way. So as I was saying that Krishna came here to establish the dharma. Why is talking a little contradictory now? So there is a deeper meaning. That is why when we read the scriptures, it should be read under the guidance of a bona fide teacher. Otherwise, you will be confused. There's so many such things comes with sounds, diametrically opposite, just contradicting what he said earlier. So what Krishna is basically trying to establish here is, because you see in the Bhagavad Gita in the entire flow, Krishna has discussed about various kind of knowledge. So he spoke about the knowledge of Brahman, knowledge of Paramatma, knowledge of soul, that you know the body or the soul. And then Krishna discussed about the mind and sense control and three modes and so many other things he had discussed. Now you might be wondering, like, so many things, probably I'm not able to remember, I'm not able to decide what to do, what not to do. And then, he spoke about the Varnashram system in the fourth chapter, if you remember, Chaturvanya Maya Srishtam, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, then do your duties, prescribed duties, and all of that detail he has spoken. Very confusing, too much, right? And yes, they're all dharma. Everything is dharma. Following, like Varnashram system, somebody is a grastha, householder. Then there is some dharma for the householder, that how they should live their life. They cannot just randomly do whatever they want to do. So is the dharma for a grastha. Somebody has taken the vow of celibacy, brahmacharya. Then he has to lead his life in a certain way. Somebody has completely renounced the life, the sannyas order. Then their rules are completely different. That is sannyas dharma. So like that, he has spoken many varieties of dharma. He is saying, give up all those dharmas. Why? How to understand that? So then now when we go a little deeper into understanding this, basically this dharma can be categorized in two different categories basically. So technically they're called the apara dharma and paradharma. What is this apara dharma and paradharma? Okay, in a layman's language, in our language, we can understand. Apara dharma means, okay, first of all, dharma means the constitutional, the duties. What duty you do? Occupational duties, proper translate. So now these duties are also the two different categories. One is conditional duties. That is called aparadharma. And then there's something called constitutional duties, which is paradharma. Para means the higher. So what is conditional duty? Conditional duty for different people, it is different. Say if I am a student, my duty is to study well, be focused, not to be distracted, have a disciplined life and all of that. That is, as a student, that is what is my conditional duty. Somebody is a household, grastha, then what is the duty of a household? Okay, take care of your family nicely, have a good relationship in the family with husband, wife, kids, as a mother, as a father, as a kid, you should do all your duties and all of that. So these are all different conditions. You are a working professional. What is your duty? Just be disciplined, be focused in your work, sincere work, give your best in your work, whatever, all that. These are all different conditional duties, which can be multiple duties for the same person at the same time. When you go to office, your duty is a little different. When you come back home, your duty is different. So these are all conditional duties. So what Krishna is saying, yes, these duties are very, very important. But then beyond these duties, beyond this aparadharma, something called paradharma, which is the higher duties, which is considered more important duties. which is your constitutional duties. What is that constitutional duty? And which is same for everyone. So all these conditional duties are in connection with the body. But the constitutional duty is in connection with the soul, Atma, which is all same. And what is that constitutional duty? That as being the part and parcel of Krishna, we had to be in union with Krishna, in harmony with Krishna. So we'll discuss about that also. Harmony with Krishna means what? So our constitutional duty in simple words is to serve the Lord. To serve the Lord by following Lord's instruction. That is what is the constitutional duty. So what Krishna is talking here now in today's discussion, what we are talking, that Krishna is saying, Sarv Dharman Parityaja. What is this Sarv Dharman Parityaja? What is asking that give up all of that? He says, give up all your different varieties of your opinion, your ideas that you have created, you have manufactured, mental speculation. Oh, I think my dharma is to take care of this thing. My dharma is to make a lot of money. My dharma is to help someone, my friend, my relatives, my family, something. And all of these are important. Krishna is saying, give up that. Because now I'm going to give you something higher. It is just like if you're working in an office and say your role play, your job profile is something very a normal profile or something, simple job you're doing. Suddenly you're promoted to, say, an ideal situation, you become the CEO of the company. And then you are worrying about, but what about this thing? What about that thing? So somebody will come and say, hey, forget about all of those things. Don't worry about all of that. Give up all that what you've been doing. Because now you are promoted to being the CEO. You have some higher duties and responsibilities. So whatever you have been doing in the past, which was important, now you give up all that and take care of just one thing. This one thing is being the CEO. So take care of this role now and give up all varieties. So Krishna is saying, being in this world to live and lead a happy and meaningful and purposeful life, there's certain roles and responsibilities are there. So Krishna so far had taught us that how you should live all that, different dharmas. But now Krishna is promoting us to the highest, the topmost. Because he already said, what I'm going to tell you is the most confidential knowledge, the topmost knowledge. And what is the topmost knowledge? In sequence of Man Mana Bhavamat Bhakto, Krishna is saying, Sarv Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. So give up all varieties of your dharma. Dharma means your ideas, your opinions, something you have manufactured. Give up all that. For what? Not that you give up dharma to become adharmic, that you become a whimsical or sinful person. Not for that reason. Why you should give up? So that you take care of your higher responsibility now, which is Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. So work on this because this is the highest thing that one can achieve. So Krishna, that Krishna is, now pouring out his love for all of us here. He says, I want to give you the best. Whatever I've given you so many things, but still that is not best. I'm interested in giving the best, and best is you surrender unto me. Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. So when you surrender, then I'll take care rest of your all the things. That we need to understand more that how Krishna will take care. But what we are discussing today is this, that Krishna is saying, give up all the varieties of religion except this religion of Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. That is the highest religion. This is Paradharma. This is constitutional position. So Krishna is not saying that you become adharmic, completely become whimsical and sinful person. Saying give up that, except this particular thing, Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. Basically, you translate into that devotion, undiluted devotion, undeviated, uninterrupted devotion. So you should aspire for that. And that is the best thing. So I'm promising you, if you do this, then aham dvam sarpapebhyo mokshashyami. Then what I'll do is, I'll deliver you from all your sinful reactions, which you might have committed in the past. Okay. So now let us understand about this concept of Mam Ekam Sharanam, surrender unto me. So when we talk about this surrender, what comes to our mind in the first place?
Follow the instructions.
Follow the instructions, unconditional love. Okay. So we were talking earlier, I remember like one time we were talking to someone and I was explaining this verse. So one person, he was relatively very new to all these concepts. So we are explaining that, one should surrender to Krishna. So then at the end of the discussion, he asked the question, then Prabhuji, you are saying that we should surrender to Krishna. But why should I surrender? I never knew that I was in fight with Krishna. So basically, the meaning is people understand that surrender is basically kind of martial surrender. Generally, like surrender means hands up, surrendering. There two countries are fighting, and then one country has to surrender at the end of the day, like that. So there are two kind of surrender. Generally, people think of that martial surrender. Martial surrender means I am more powerful and you cannot defeat me. I have just beaten you down, and then you had to surrender to me forcefully. You have no other choice, right? That kind of surrender. But Krishna is not asking for this kind of surrender, that I am the boss, I am the God, I have all the power. If you don't surrender unto me, then I can do whatever I want to do. Not this kind of surrender. This is devotional surrender. So it's not martial surrender. We should understand very carefully, because the cause and the consequences of both the surrender are completely different. The cause of martial surrender is when you have no other choice. It's a helpless situation that you had to surrender. And what is the consequences? Consequences is like, say your fate is like, you will curse your fate that what I'll do now. I had to just surrender to this person, which I don't want to. But in devotional surrender, the surrender comes out of love. It's not somebody is forcing you, but out of love, you want to surrender to that person. And the consequences of that kind of surrender is basically the intimate bond of the love with that person whom you are surrendering. Right. Like when a boy and a girl get married, especially in the traditional on Vedic times, nowadays the things have changed completely. So it's a kind of when a girl leaves the family, parents, and everyone, she kind of literally surrender to the person whom she is getting married. She doesn't know that how the family, what will be the life there. It's kind of a big, shift, that from some upbringing, some kind of culture, you suddenly come to the new family, and then you have to get adjusted to that culture, those people, and all of that. It's a surrender, but it's not forceful surrender. They're excited, now I'm getting married and new life and everything. So it is out of love and devotion. So this kind of surrender Krishna is asking. Now, also I want to take this opportunity to explain about something, this surrender little more into from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has discussed this surrender earlier also in Bhagavad Gita. So let us understand about what is this surrender which Krishna has, the Bhagavad Gita is already discussed. So actually there are three places where Krishna is, this Bhagavad Gita is talking about the surrender. So this is not the only one place where Krishna is saying surrender. So there are three different verses which talks about the surrender. Let us talk about that now, and then we'll come to the final thing. What is Krishna is asking today? So the first verse which talks about the surrender is in the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, 2.7. So anybody remembers what is 2.7, the famous verse?
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः
Yes.
श्रेयश्चान्यश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यास्तेऽहं साधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
So that was the very first verse in the Bhagavad Gita, 2.7, where it says, Shadimam Twam Prapannam. Prapannam means surrender. So basically, what was happening, like Arjuna was completely confused in the beginning. We know that at the end of the first chapter, he didn't know that what should I do? Shall I fight? And these are all my family members. How can I fight them? How can I kill them? So it's a situation like, you see a cop, a police officer, and he's chasing a criminal, and that person, the criminal, is most wanted, and there is order, actually the shoot at sight order, and then this cop is chasing that person, and somehow he managed to catch hold of this criminal, and he's about to shoot, and that is when he actually realized, oh, this criminal is actually my son. What he will do? This is dharma sankat. Now I should act like a cop, or I should behave like my father protecting the child. What you should do? So that is exactly the situation of Arjuna in the very beginning. He was ready, he was, fired up, buck up, Krishna has bucked up him, and then he says, okay, go and fight. When he was right there in the middle of the battlefield, about to shoot the arrows, he said, oh, this is like my family members. So he was completely confused. So that is when he says, Karpanya doshopahatas svabhavaha. That there is a dosha. What is that? Karpanya dosha. That I have become weak because of this karpanya. Karpanya means out of compassion, and that my heart has become so weak. How can I? So I'll surrender unto you. Shishyasteham. I become the shishya, the disciple. Shadi mam to ambar bannam. I surrender unto you. So Krishna, as Arjuna, if already surrendered in 2.7, what is this surrender then? So we need to understand the different kind of surrender. So that beginning, the surrender is a little different. And that surrender was that Arjuna was confused about his duties at that time. I should act like a Kshatriya. I should do my Kshatriya dharma to shoot the arrows, because Arjuna's role play is like a cop. As a Kshatriya, the rulers try to maintain the law and order in the society. So someone who is like a crime category of person, try to wipe them out. But suddenly realize these people are my people only. So what I should do? So he was confused about his duties. So when he was confused, he was ignorant about his duties. So he turned towards Krishna. Shishyasteham Shadimam Tambrahmana, and surrender. Please tell me. So that surrender is to inquire that what I should do. It's just an inquiry. Whether I'll do or not is a different thing. But at this point, I don't know what I should do. I'm completely ignorant about my duty itself. So you tell me first, and then probably if I feel like doing that, then I'll see. But let me let me know that what is my duty. So that was the first to surrender has been discussed. So one of the sign of intelligence is explained as, they say that there's different aspects of intelligence. That how do you say that somebody is intelligent? Intelligent not about just ability to process the information. Some people are like very good in calculation, and you just give them some data and they can process it very fast, calculate very fast. That is one kind of intelligence only. There's multiple kinds of intelligence. So one of the symptom of intelligence is this, that to know when, how do I put it? Let me just think of. Okay, so let us put it like this. To know what to do when you don't know what to do. What it means? This is intelligence. To know what to do when you don't know what to do. It means sometimes you're put in a situation where you don't know what to do, whether this or this. That time to decide what to do, what is the right course of action. It is just like, just to explain this point, say you are driving on the road. Nowadays, of course, the Google map is there. Previous to that, prior to that, when the Google Maps, or maybe in today, some places there's no Google map or it's not working. So you're lost your way. So you don't know where to go. So you don't know what to do. That time to know what to do. So either you just keep trying something, go this way, go that way, and just get completely lost somewhere. That time to know that rather I should ask someone which direction to go, because I'm confused now. I don't know where to go. So I need to ask someone, right? So that is the right course of action. So this is what the exact situation of Arjuna here, that Arjuna don't know that what to do, whether shoot the arrows or not to shoot the arrows, right? So that is when Krishna was intelligent. Arjuna was intelligent to ask what to do. So he says, Shishyasteham. I am soul surrender unto you. Please guide me. Right. So this is the sign of intelligence. That is why you see the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, sometimes people may ask, for Arjuna, it was very easy. Krishna was standing right there and he was confused. And then he said, oh, Krishna, tell me what to do. But if such situations happens in our life, when we are utterly confused, what to do, what not to do, then where we turn towards, where is Krishna? Krishna comes, it is very straight. We can ask, Krishna will give answer and we'll say, okay, we'll do. And where is Krishna? Right? So how do you answer this question? There's like something practical question people ask. And how do we understand in this kind of confusing situations and all of that? So we need to understand that when Arjuna was confused, Krishna did not give him the direct answer what he should do. What Krishna did, when Arjuna said, I am the soul surrender, I am Sishyasteham, I'm your disciple now. What Krishna did? Krishna says, okay, now I'll explain you. And Krishna took Arjuna all through all this philosophical deliberation. He is explaining you're not the body, you're the soul, and the Karma Yoga, and then Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, 3 modes of mindfulness, so many things. He didn't say, okay, what you should do. If that was the approach of Bhagavad Gita, then Bhagavad Gita would have finished in maybe just 6 words. Krishna would have said, I am God, obey me and fight. Over. There's no Bhagavad Gita is needed. But Krishna did not do that. So Krishna is not telling what you should think. What Krishna is doing through Bhagavad Gita is he is educating Arjuna that how you should think. Not what you should think, but how you should think. So if we go through the Bhagavad Gita, you will also learn that art of how we should think, what is important, what is not important, which is on the higher priority, which is in the lower priority in different times. So you get educated to make the decision. So Krishna is teaching us the process of making the decision. He is not imposing some decision. When Arjuna turned towards him, okay, what I should do? Krishna said, okay, do this, finish. It's easy. He didn't do that. Right? So that is the first surrender, where he explains about this particular concept. So when we are in confusion and doubt or something like that, then solution is turn towards Krishna and in prayer and submission. That is the first level of surrender. It turns toward the Lord. The Lord, please guide me. Give me the intelligence. Give me the guidance that what I should do. I'm completely confused. I don't know what direction I should go in. So this is one level of surrender. Now, the second level of surrender, which has been discussed in Bhagavad Gita, is another famous verse. Anybody can guess what is the famous verse? Let me see.
Manmana Bhagamat
Where is
Madhya-
surrender in that?
9th chapter, Prabhu.
No, but where is the surrender in that? We're talking about surrender. Verse which talks about the surrender. Like we discussed 2.7. Shadimam Tvam. Krishna talks, Arjuna says, I am surrendered. It is another work like that. Okay, just to give you the hint, it is in the 7th chapter. Famous verse. Okay, no problem. I'll tell that what is the verse. It is 7.14. 7.14, famous verse. Devi Esha Gunmai Mama Maya Durataya. Mameva ye prapadyante mayam itam tarantide. So Krishna is actually talking there about the illusion. Krishna is saying, Devi Esha Gunmai Mama Maya. Krishna is talking about the illusory energy. So Krishna is saying this Maya, what do you call this? Illusory energy of the Lord is my divine energy. And it is very difficult to overcome. One cannot cross over this illusion. When you are put into the illusion, actually in US there is a university, what is that? A University of Illusion or something like that. So what they do is in that university, there is a course that how to create illusion. We are already in the illusion in this world, and they're creating more illusion in this world, right? Like when you go to the movie, sometimes you say, oh no, I didn't like this movie and it was not engaging, because they are not created sufficient illusion in that. Illusion means that you completely get lost into that movie. You forget your outside world for that 2 hour, 3 hour, whatever. So wow, hero, heroine, and something is happening, fight and something. So that is an art to create the illusion. Now Krishna is saying this illusory energy in this material world, Mama Maya Duratya. It's Krishna's energy. You cannot overcome this. Then what is the way out? That is why we are all we are in illusion in this world. So what is the way out? Krishna is saying, Mameva ye prapadyante. Prapadyante means to surrender. One who surrenders unto me, then what will happen? Maya medam tarantide. That person, Taranti, can easily cross over the Maya, the illusory energy. So Krishna talks about that surrender. So you see, in the beginning, what was happening? And that Arjuna was confused about his duty, what to do. Now he understood the duty, but he's unable to do the duty because of illusory energy, inability. So I know that, like we all understand, right? Certain things we understand. We should not be attached to, all these worldly things, and we should not be doing this. We should be disciplined. We should be regulated. We all understand theoretically, but still it is very difficult to practice that. You get into illusion. You cannot overcome some attachments in this world, and you get tempted to some kind of flickering, enjoyment, something like that. All illusion. You understand the person who smoke, the person who drinks, they understand it is not good for health. But when the temptation comes, they're completely covered by that illusion. So no, it's important. I should do that. So that is what Krishna is saying. Mama Maya Duratya. This illusory energy is my divine energy. One cannot cross over. But if one surrender unto me, then one can easily cross over. So that is another kind of surrender has been discussed there. So another question is like, sometimes people ask, no, but why Krishna has created so much illusion in this world? Why has created this Maya in this world? If everything was so straight, like, okay, surrender to Krishna, become my devotee, there's no illusion, nothing, we would have surrendered easily. He has created so much of illusion in this world, so many varieties of illusion, so many options, and the probability of picking the right thing, surrender to Krishna, is very, very less. But this argument is not a valid argument. The same is the case with the multiple choice exam, the question. When you know that multiple choice questions. So there are three options are wrong options. One is the right one, right? So the student can give the argument, these people are actually, they want to fail me consciously, because the probability of picking the wrong option is almost like 75%. Three options are wrong and one is right. So my picking and ticking on the right option is very, very less. But that is how it doesn't work like that, right? So your right selection, the right choice is not based on the probability. It is based on your intelligence. So you don't say that, okay, there are 10 wrong options though, then the probability of picking the wrong option is high. No, you have to use your intelligence. So picking the right option is based on how well you have studied the subject. If you studied well, you understood the subject better, then you don't care about the wrong options. You will figure out what is the right option. So similarly, Krishna has created a lot of illusion in this material world, a lot of options to get lost. But then at the same time, we are expected to study well. So we have to turn towards Krishna, read the scriptures, understand. And once you understand all the subject matter, it will be easy for you to tick on the right option. All right. So Krishna says, this illusory energy I have created, but you have to surrender unto me. That is the way out. Then Maya Medham Tarantite. Then you can easily cross over this Maya. So surrender is the solution. So that is another thing that Krishna has been discussed here. So what we understand from these two. So one thing is, when you are in complete confusion about your duties, what to do, what not to do, you're not able to make the right decision, then turn towards the divine, towards the Lord in submission and prayers. Say, Lord, please guide me. And when you get the guidance and still you find yourself unable to execute that instruction, that is when what you should do is you should catch hold of the Lord very tightly. Mameva ye prapadyante. It is just like when you are thrown into the ocean and the waves are just hitting you back and forth and sweeping you away, taking you down inside the ocean, and then some boat comes. Catch hold of that boat very tightly. So the waves will be still hitting you, but if you catch hold on to the boat, then there is a hope that you will come out on the shore. So similarly, we are in this material world, this world of illusion. A lot of illusory options are there. But if we cling on to Krishna, how we cling on to Krishna? By sticking on to Krishna's instruction, which has been given in the Bhagavad Gita. So when we read carefully Bhagavad Gita, understand these principles nicely, and try to execute and practice, a lot of illusory energy will be coming, hitting you back and forth, but you don't leave Krishna. Don't leave the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. Then gradually, slowly and gradually, you'll come out from this, drowning down in the ocean. So that is the second surrender. And the third surrender is this surrender, complete surrender, which we are talking today. When Krishna is saying, Sarv Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja. So you surrender unto me completely, and then I'll take care of rest of the things. So don't worry about any other thing. You just surrender unto me. So that is what the three surrenders has been discussed here. So basically what Krishna, through this particular verse today, what we are discussing, Krishna is trying to, basically he is actually pouring out his love. He is interested in giving us the best. He said that don't get lost into all other things so far what I have given. Give up all of that and then take up this. This is the best option for you. What is the best option? That we are in connection, we are in relationship with the Supreme Lord, Krishna. That is what is the best thing that we can pick up. And once you are in relationship with Krishna, then you naturally comes out from all illusory energy, all the suffering, all the pain, and all of those things, material bondage, you can easily come out from all of that. And that is what is Krishna basically. But why we are not able to surrender to Krishna? Because we don't understand that what Krishna has given us. So this human form of life is a very, very special gift given to us, which enables us to cross over from this material existence. But if you don't understand what this human form of life is made for, and if you misutilize it for some other purpose, it is made for to come out from this illusion, but you use it to get more and more into illusion, then it is counterproductive. So that is when Krishna comes, he guides us, he personally comes, he sends his bona fide representatives, and then they come and they guide us. So this human form of life is the greatest gift. We should understand the potential that we can use in this body. Though it is very, very defective, it gives a lot of pain, a lot of difficulties, but still it can act like a boat to take you across the ocean. But sometimes what happens, we get into this, comparison with others, and then you're not able to fully surrender. You say, oh no, Krishna, I'll surrender, but you're not given me this. You should give me this. You should give me enough money first, and then big house, big car, everything is all set in life. Then I'll surrender fully. Because you see a lot of people, they have this thing, that thing. Somebody is super smart, somebody is super, handsome or beautiful or something like that. Say, Krishna, you're not given me this. I want that first, and then Krishna is saying, whatever I have given you, use that first. You are not understanding what I have given you. So understand your potential, human potential. This human form of life, the very human form of life is the greatest opportunity to come out from this. So one should not get into all comparing with others. It is just like when you're invited for a feast, and the different people are served the different varieties of desserts. So somebody gets the rasgulla, somebody gets some gulab jamun, somebody gets some other sweet, something. Everything is very attractive, and everybody gets different item. You also get one item, and you're looking at others' plate only. Oh, you got this, some cheesecake, something. Why they are not given me this? I don't like rasgulla, something like that. So you can get into that kind of a trap, comparing, and you are not relishing what you've got. So one should not get into this kind of comparison and all of that, and simply wasting human form of life. Understand your potential. Wherever at your pace, you can run the race to get Krishna's grace. That is the philosophy. So don't think that somebody is super smart, somebody has everything. For them, it is easy to surrender. I'm still struggling to get so many things in my life. We can go on giving a lot of such reasons. It doesn't work. So Krishna is saying, you surrender into me, and then Ma Mekam Sharanam Raja. Then what will happen? Aham Dvam Sarpapibhyo Mokshishami. I'll completely freeze you from all your sinful reactions, and do not worry. So that is what. Okay. So let me pause here quickly and then see if anybody has any quick question on what we have discussed so far. I have little more to discuss. I'll explain how to surrender exactly. So far we have understood what is surrender, we should surrender, but what it means to really surrender. Surrender means to just raise your hand, or what to do exactly. We'll come to that point, but let me see if anybody has any question. Those who are online, anybody has any question or any comment? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay, so nobody has the question.
Very deep subject, Prabhuji. Surrender and understanding these three verses, also going into deeper that with love and affection for Krishna, then only, we can look for the, like you said, at your pace, run the race. So if somebody has a question like Arjuna had, and he got his answers, we like Grihastha people, Grihastha ashram living people have questions. Unless we have studied or we have guru who can guide us, it's not that easy to simply surrender and get the answers to questions we have. This is, it's not easy. That's my comment.
Yeah, that's correct. It's not easy, but it is not too difficult also. The only thing is you have to get into the right process. So as I said, the intelligence means to know when you don't know, right? So when you don't know that what to do, that time to know. So read the scriptures, attend these kind of sessions, and these are the platforms are being created, and people can come and ask their questions if they have something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Hare
So
Krishna.
yeah. Any other comment or any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanavad, Prabhu.
Hare
Prabhu, what's the root cause of like we talked about comparison and all. So what is the root cause, even like the comparison and envy that develops in one's heart, Prabhu? What is the root cause of that?
Yeah. So root cause is actually ignorance, agyanta, which has been created again by the illusory energy of Krishna. So what is this agyanta? What is this ignorance? Ignorance about understanding Krishna's hand in our life. Sometimes we think that, my life is by chance the way it is. Nothing is by chance in this world. Everything is actually, sanctioned by Krishna. So if I have something less or somebody has something more, it is all sanctioned by Krishna. But when we don't see Krishna's hand, when we don't recognize Krishna's presence, and then we get into this kind of comparison. So if somebody is, having something more, then we should understand that because of their karma, Krishna sanctioned something. So there's no point of, comparing with others. I have my own exam paper. Somebody has their own exam paper. We all have to write our answers. So rather than, trying to copy from other sheet, you can copy, but the result will be, you will be failed because every individual has their own question papers. So we should not try to copy that. I want to be like that person. So we don't say, Bhagavad Gita philosophy doesn't say that you try to be like someone, but you try to be the best version of yourself. So what is happening is we are not recognizing our own real, true human potential, not as being the soul, part and parcel of Krishna. We had a potential to still get the best. And we are, getting into all these kind of silly things that I want this, I want that. So yeah, that ignorance, agyanta is the root cause. Actually, in the Bhagavatam, Kundi Maharani explains. She says the three things: avidya, kama, karma, vihi. So avidya is ignorance, and because of ignorance, and the person get implicated into all this. Kam means a lot of desires they develop. I want this, I want that, and to fulfill all those desires, they further implicate into a lot of activities in this material world, which further cause a lot of bondage. Right. So ultimately, it is ignorance. So the solution is this: tamsoma jyotirgamaya. From the darkness, one should go towards the light, and this knowledge is the light. So that is what his Krishna is offering here, this wonderful wisdom. So one should take out the time to read, study, and not just one time reading or some casual reading, but multiple reading and then deep study and discussing among the devotees, as Krishna says, bodhyantasya parasparam. So this reading should not be just kind of, kind of some scholastic approach that, okay, I want to understand everything and I know the Sanskrit and I memorize the verses, which is good. But what Krishna is saying, this reading should be done in the association of devotees. Bodhyantasya parasparam. Because what you understand and what I understand completely, it can be completely different understanding and realization. So we nourish each other with each other's realization and get a better perspective on this wisdom. So yeah, with this knowledge, gradually we come out from this ignorance, from this illusion, and then we become better and better, not to get into the trap of comparing and envying others and all of that. Yeah. Hope that
Thank
answers.
you. Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, anyone here in person, any question or any comment, or anyone online? Last question.
Hare
Before I-
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you told one line that Bhagavad Gita tells how you should think, but not like what you think. Can you give a small example of that, Prabhu?
How you should think means you should understand the whole procedure of how to think, basically, like when you are in some kind of a situation, like say for example, for Arjuna, he was in a situation whether I should fight or not. So instead of Krishna saying, okay, you fight and kill them, Krishna is not saying that. Krishna is saying that you are not the body, you are the soul. Soul is na jayate mriyate va kadachin. soul never takes birth, soul never dies, and it is eternal. So he's basically giving you the broader perspective of how you look at that situation. So then you can make the right choice instead of telling you that, okay, do this. And next time again, some situation comes, you'll be stuck again. And I don't know now what to do. But when you learn this art of, you get the better and the broader perspective on looking at the things and the situations, then you can make the better choice. So that is what the Bhagavad Gita does, that you are not the body, you are the soul. And then there's something karma yoga, and if you don't do in yoga in connection with Krishna, that cause the bondage, and bondage will result in suffering, but you don't want to suffer. Then how you should do? You should practice karma yoga, but then karma yoga is not also the topmost. Come to the bhakti yoga, and then the bhakti yoga also. What is the topmost instruction? Manmana bhavamad bhakto sarvadharman parityaja. So you understood. Ultimately, mam ekam sharanam raja. That whatever I had to make the decision in my life, it should be basically in connection with, if it is making me to surrender to Krishna or establishing my connection with Krishna. Whatever decision I'm making in my life, the most important thing in my life is my connection with Krishna. So let me keep this at the center point, that whatever I make the decision, sometimes people say this job, that job, shall I continue to in the Bay Area, in some other area, should go back to India. A lot of situations comes like that. But the point is, you should think that how it will impact my connection with Krishna. If I have better opportunities here to practice my Krishna consciousness, or to associate with the devotees to learn about these teachings in a better way, better opportunities are here. So let me just go with this option rather than, somebody is offering me a little more money, but I might end up losing this opportunity to be Krishna conscious. So now I should pick between extra money, little more money, or Krishna. So you learn the art of how to think instead of what to think. So then you make the choice. So like that. So it gradually educates us. Okay. Yes. What is your question?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So the question is that when Krishna says that I'll deliver you from all your sinful reactions, what does it mean? Does it mean that Krishna eliminate all your past negative karma, or what he does? Yes. So yes, when Krishna says that I'll deliver you from all your past reactions, yes, Krishna can do that. Now it is all up to Krishna that how he will do, what he will do. That is all his discretion. Whatever is more favorable for that individual being to come closer to Krishna, Krishna will take that approach. So if it helps that person to come closer by eliminating all his past karma, Krishna will remove that. But at the same time, Krishna wants you to become more mature, to learn some lessons. So still Krishna allows those karma to come in your life, and still you feel some challenging, you face some challenging situations, some difficulties, and at the same time you try to surrender to Krishna. So if those challenging situations, those difficult situations makes you more dependent on Krishna and take the path of better surrender to Krishna, then Krishna will allow those challenges and difficult situations in your life to increase your surrenderance to Krishna. And if something you are already surrendered, and all your past karmas are creating a lot of hurdles, a lot of blockage, and which is coming on your way to practice your Krishna consciousness. And then if Krishna wishes, he will just just by thinking, he can remove all that. This is okay. I don't want you to be too stuck with all of those things. So I decided to remove all that so that you can smoothly walk on this path towards my surrender to me. Yeah, so all the options are possible. And sometimes Krishna gives, and not sometimes, actually, one who surrender to Krishna, one thing is for sure, that he takes care of karma, in the sense he'll give you the token reaction. If he doesn't eliminate for whatever reason, he will give us the token reaction. I cited this past time earlier also in one of the session, that one devotee was cutting the vegetables and helping in kitchen. He got his finger cut. And then he came to Prabhupada and says, Prabhupada, he was a very new devotee. relatively. And then he says, Prabhupada, I'm trying to, I'm trying to serve Krishna, helping in Krishna's kitchen and all that. Still, my finger got cut. Why Krishna did not protect me? So then Prabhupada says, your throat was supposed to be cut, but that karma has been eliminated by giving the small cut in your finger. That is for sure that happens. So sometimes devotees has to go through some challenging situation, because you see in the devotees' life also, they're practicing, they're dedicated their life and following all the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Still, you see they sometimes fall sick, they go through some challenging situation, health crisis, financial crisis, so many other challenges happens. Somebody might wonder, like, where is Krishna in the whole scene? Why is not protecting? He said that I'll take care. He is not taking care. Krishna is taking care. But how Krishna takes care, we cannot dictate. Right? And we should not try to dictate. Because if you try to dictate and say, Krishna won't accept, because Krishna said that you are still very immature to understand what is best for you. We have to regret if Krishna sanctions all our prayers. You will curse yourself. Why did I ask for this? Right? Because we are so immature, like a child want to do all kinds of notorious thing. He'll go and try to hold some sharp knife, something like that. He want to go and touch into fire, want to put the finger into some power plug. Child want to do all of that. And then mother is holding back. And he says, why you're not allowing me to do all of that? But when the same child grows up a little bit more mature, he says, what kind of foolish person I was? Trying to touch the fire or trying to put finger into this thing. Oh, thanks to my mother that she didn't allow all those things to happen. So that is how it is. So we should not try to dictate. Okay, hope that makes the point. Okay, so let me just quickly come to another point. In short, I'll explain, and then if anybody has any questions, you can ask the questions a little later. In 5-10 minutes, I'll explain one more concept about this Sharanagati. So we are talking about this surrender. Actually, our Acharya explained this verse as the Charam Shloka, the crest jewel of the entire Bhagavad Gita, the topmost sloka, where Krishna is asking, surrender unto me completely. This is called the Sharanagati. So that is the goal of life. Why we are coming to temple, why we are chanting this Hare Krishna, why we are reading Bhagavad Gita, or in whatever way we practice our spiritual practices. What is the goal? Goal is this, that somehow or other we surrender completely to Krishna. Mam ekam sharanam braja. That is the goal, right? But what kind of surrender? Surrender in love and devotion, not like forceful surrender. So that is the goal, that out of love and devotion we surrender to Krishna, understanding that Krishna is my best well-wisher. If I surrender to him, and if he make any choice for myself, that will be the best thing for me. Having that faith, in that faith and that love and that confidence, when you surrender to Krishna, that is what is the goal. Okay, so how to do that surrender? So we discussed about the surrender, but how to do that? Let us talk about that now. So our Acharya has given some guidelines. This is called the 6 principles of surrender, which will help us to understand how to exactly execute this surrenderance, concept of surrender. Okay, so the Sharanagati, so it is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and also one of the Acharya Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains in one of the bhajan, one of the songs. So it goes like this. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam rakshishyatiti vishwaso goptratve varnam tatha atmanikshepa karpanye shadvidha sharanagati. So these sharanagatis consist of this shadvidha, these 6 items. What are the 6 items? I'll just in brief, I'll explain you what are the 6 items. So the first thing is anukulasya sankalpa and pratikulasya varjanam. These are 2 very important items, because they are actually action items. All of the rest, 4 of the things are more of like feelings and emotions, but these are actually action items. So Krishna is talking about anukula. Anukul means something which is favorable. So accept only the things which is favorable for your devotional practice, which is favorable for your bhakti, which is favorable for your getting closer to Krishna. Only those things you should accept. For example, okay, let me hear some examples from the participants here. Okay, what are those favorable things that you think you can think of which will help you to get closer to Krishna. Some simple things like chanting of Krishna's name every day. This is something favorable, right? So take up this process of chanting every day sincerely, committedly, which will help you to get closer to Krishna. This is one of the item of Sharanagati, Anukulasya Sankalpa. Okay, what are the other items? I want everyone, those who are joining online, to participate. Think on the
Being in
attend
satsang.
Sankirtan.
yes, attend satsang, so devotee association, okay, and then offering,
Visiting temple.
visiting temple, attending some programs like this, and then somebody saying here, offering the food, that whatever you eat, first offer in love and devotion, as Krishna says, patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakti amrachadi. So whatever you eat, first offer to Krishna with devotion, and then eat that. Yeah, that is favorable. Attending the ceremony.
Involve in service of Krishna.
Yes, very, very important. That do some seva. That is what happens. You attend all of that, you hear very nice, and then go away. Where is the actually putting it into practice? So that is when we should do some seva, practical devotional service. That is explaining earlier that Prabhupada translate the bhakti as not devotion. Generally, if you see all the traditional books and conventional books, you will see bhakti means devotion. But in Prabhupada books, you will see this unique meaning. Bhakti means devotional service. So devotion is a emotion. That okay, Krishna, you are my Lord, you are my master. Is an emotion. But that emotion should be also coupled with the action. Simply you just keep saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. There has to be some way of expressing your love by action. Somebody says, okay, you love me, get me a glass of water. I say, no, that I cannot. What kind of love it is? Simply talking, lip service. So do some action which is favorable. So seva in the temple. It can be any seva, simple seva, like when you come to the temple, you'll see some devotees, go and ask them that can I help you in something just little. Like, sometimes you see that we go to the Prasadam hall, somebody helps in serving the Prasadam to everyone, somebody helps in setting up the chairs, somebody else in winding up, cleaning. It can be as simple as that. And there's a lot more opportunity like that. Yes. So it's important item. So like that, you see there's a lot of favorable things. Also reading the scriptures, talking, discussing, memorizing these verses, meditating on these verses, these are all favorable items. Okay. And then also equally important is Pratipulasya Varjanam. Something which is unfavorable. That Varjanam, Varjit means that one should restrict, one should reject something which is not favorable. Okay. So what are the things which is you think comes to your mind which is unfavorable for your bhakti? Few items, something.
Not eating non-sattvic food.
Okay, so not eating non-sattvic. I would add a little more. Not eating the food which is not offered to Krishna. You can offer and eat prasadam. Yes, but that is also true that non-sattvic food, like all eating the non-veg or something like that, which is actually considered very, very sinful. So yes, that is pratikul, which is unfavorable. What else?
Avoid non-devotee association.
Okay, so bad association, non-devotees association. Okay, what else? I see there's a lot of people here online.
Prajalpa.
Okay, prajalpa. Prajalpa is, okay, those who are not family, prajalpa means useless talks, gossip. Simply just gossiping, backbiting, and all of that keep doing. And simply you're wasting your time for no one's benefit. It is pratikul. Rather, you can talk something, either something which is meaningful, even materially speaking, that you learn, you get more educated, more informed, or otherwise one should spend time with discussing this wisdom. Take one words, read, understand, ask your question, rather than simply gossiping about someone and all mental speculation. Yes, very important point. What else?
Brooding over having negative thoughts or encouraging those kind of thoughts.
Yes, encouraging negativity, dwelling over the negative thoughts. My life is useless. What will happen? Something. Rather, should think, okay, Krishna will take care. Let me surrender to Krishna. Right. So yeah, these are like pretty cool things. So Acharya is explained in one line, Asat Sangha Tyagi Ei Vaishnavachar. Simple words, Asat Sangha. The bad association one should give up. Because everything begins with the association. Go in a bad association, all kinds of bad habits will start manifesting. Right? Like you go in a bad association, especially teenagers and small kids. Unfortunately, sometimes they get into some bad kind of association. The friends who are not good, they start watching all kinds of obscene, content and all of that, and they become more and more contaminated. And it is applicable even for the adults, not only for the kids. You go into some kind of association, everybody is talking all prizalpa, all useless things, politics, this thing, that thing, and simply wasting a lot of times. I'm not saying those things are not important to the extent that you should be informed that what's going around in the world. But you're spending hours and hours watching news, watching some TV serial, some Saas Bahu ka serial and all that. It's all like for no one's good, right? So intelligent person should not waste time in all of that. Yeah, so this is Pratikulasya Varjanam. Too important. Anukulasya, accepting, favorable, rejecting, unfavorable. Okay. What is the third item? Very important item. Rakshishyati iti vishwaso. So having that conviction, iti vishwas, having that conviction, that faith, rakshishyati iti, Krishna will protect me in all situations. One should have that faith. Let me do my duties, whatever best I can do, with best of my discrimination. And beyond that, I should not worry too much. What is the problem in the world? People are constantly in worrying and anxiety. They keep making a lot of choices we had to do to live in this world, and constantly you just keep contemplating, oh, what if it doesn't go well this way, that way, and people are depressed, they're in anxiety and tensions and all of that. So one should have the faith that okay, let me just do whatever best with best of my ability, sincerity, in a very prayerful mood, praying to Krishna, and rest. Do your best, leave the rest. That's the formula. Okay, so having that faith, Rakshishati iti Vishwasha. So that there is actually this quote, the Acharya explains, Mare Krishna Rakhe ke, Rakhe Krishna Mare ke. We should always remember this. Very simple. That how to come out from worry. People say, Prabhuji, there's, I'm always worrying, lot of anxiety. One formula is this. Rakhe Krishna Mare ke, Mare Krishna Rakhe. Krishna wants to protect someone in whatever way, whatever challenging situation you're going through in your life. It can be financial, it can be relational, it can be health issues or anything. It doesn't mean that you outsource your responsibility taking care of the things to Krishna. That Krishna, if you want to protect me, I'll not take any medicine. Not like that. You do your duties. Okay, that Krishna will protect me if he wants to protect me. And Mare Krishna Rakhege. Krishna decided to finish me, and then all this, nothing will work. Prahlad Maharaj's famous verse, Balash Sharanam Pitrao Narsimha. Like there's three examples are given there. That a child who is sick, the parents try to give him the best of the treatment, but still there is no guarantee and they'll be able to protect the child. Somebody who's in the boat, sitting in the ocean in a boat, safe boat, but still there's no guarantee that he will not drown down. Some big wave come and can sweep away your boat itself. So like that. So Mare Krishna Rakhe Krishna Mare. Have faith and be free and relax. Give some space to your head. Otherwise, you'll burst. That is what is happening in this modern age. People are in constant anxiety. So if you learn this formula, you will be much relaxed, much peaceful, and focus better. You'll be more efficient in your whatever you do. Okay, so this is the first principle. So I want all of you to remember this. Pratikulasya, Anukulasya Sankalpa. Not the Sanskrit, at least remember the English. Accept the favorable, reject the unfavorable, and then having the conviction that Krishna will give me the protection. Okay, what is the next item? Next item is this. Goptratve Varanam Data. Acceptance of the Lord as one's guardian or master. Krishna is my Lord. Krishna is my Supreme Father, Paramvida. So accept. Because our acceptance, we have a lot of confidence in our relations in this material world. Deha patrikalatradishu atmasanyeshu asaswapi. We have our Sena. We have our army here in this world. We have a lot of confidence. They'll protect me. Who are they? Deha, my own body. I'm very strong. I'm very intelligent. I'm very smart. I can figure out the things. I can find the solution of all the problems. So much confidence. Kalatradishu, family, my good wife, my good kids, and my connections, my money, my savings, they'll protect me. In the reality is, this is explained as Asat Sena. This is false army, fake army. Nothing will protect. So I have faith that Krishna is my master, Krishna is my Lord, Krishna is my Supreme Father. He will take care of me. Like a mother takes care of the child. Child doesn't know. Child is not even mature enough to understand what are my needs. But mother go out of the way to take care of all the needs of the child. She makes sure that child has eaten, he should sleep well, and everything that mother practically takes care. Right. So when Krishna, we accept Krishna as our guardian, as a master, then Krishna will take care. And then Atmanikshepa. Atmanikshepa means basically that full surrender, what we are talking here. So what is this full surrender means? Let me see, actually I taken something from this. Yeah. So Atmanikshepa means basically that my whole existence is depending on Krishna. We think, no, I am depending not on Krishna. I'm depending on my job. How I'm surviving? Because I have a good job, lot of money, lot of this thing, and not like that. We should know that Krishna is maintaining me. You can earn the food. You can go work hard, earn your food, your daily bread, eat the bread. Who will digest that bread? What is happening? How it transformed into, growth into your body? Who's doing all that? Krishna is doing all that. So without Krishna, we cannot even survive. You're breathing constantly. Who is making all these arrangements? Are we paying anything to breathe the oxygen? So many things like that, simple things. So if we remember all of that, then you'll understand that, without Krishna, my existence is completely dependent on Krishna. And the last is Karpanya. Karpanya means devotee should be very humble, meek and humble. So they say that one should become perfect. And if you are not perfect, then become humble. And the moment you become humble, you're perfect. So if you don't know how to become perfect, become humble. Humble means, okay, how to accept certain things. What Krishna says, to accept and try to follow that with best of my ability. So these are the 6 items. Anukulasya Sankalpa, accepting favorable, rejecting unfavorable, and then having the conviction that Krishna will protect, accepting Krishna as your master, as your guardian, and also remember that without Krishna, my existence is not possible. And then be humble. Right. So these are the 6 principles of surrender. There's much more to say, but we are already exceeding the time limit. So keeping that in my mind, and then I'll not be extending it further. So let me see, anybody's any quick question or any comment on what we discussed. We can have a lot of question answer here than me talking all the time.
Prabhuji, I have a question. How we should know that Krishna loves us and he's liking what we are doing?
Okay, so how do we know that Krishna really loves us? Or so we know everything about Krishna from the scriptures. First of all, you should ask the question, how do we know that someone called Krishna is there? Right? We are not seeing Krishna. So from where this knowledge is
Yeah.
coming?
Okay.
This knowledge is coming from the scriptures. So when you read those scriptures even further down, then you understand that how much Krishna loves all of us from those books of wisdom, from Krishna's words only. And actually, when we are reading all these verses, when Krishna is going out of the way and then saying that, I'm telling you this most confidential knowledge, always think of me, surrender to me, I'll take care of you. That is what is actually Krishna's love. Who takes the guarantee that I'll take care of you? Nobody can take care. There's no guarantee, especially in this modern age. Krishna is giving you the guarantee. So we take this knowledge from the scriptures under the guidance of one of our teachers. And then we have a lot of such examples also in the scriptures that how Krishna protects, like Prahlad Maharaj, how he protected Pandavas, how he protected them. So you see all of that. And then we develop the faith and conviction in all of that, what we hear and read. Okay, next question. When there is a question here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji, I'll come back to you. So there is a question. Why Krishna takes time to listen our requests? It's a good question. Krishna immediately respond to our request, then we'll develop much more faith than what we have now. Right. So Krishna has his own priorities. So as I said, and that it's actually speaking, it is not like Krishna really takes time to fulfill or to listen or request. Actually, Krishna listen or request, but not the way that you want him to listen your request. So he listen your request, and he also respond to your request. But the only thing is, we are unable sometime, or we are not mature enough to understand Krishna's response to our request. So if you remember that in one of the sessions I was explaining about that when devotees ask for, the wisdom, Krishna put you in difficulty. You ask for strength, Krishna creates more challenging situation in your life. So I think that Krishna should give me, ready to eat kind of a solution. But Krishna actually prepare you to go through certain process and to develop something. But we need a little maturity to understand. So for that, we need to understand the scriptures. So that's not true that Krishna really takes time to listen. And sometime, if in some cases it happens, Krishna maybe wait for the right time to give you something better than what you were asking. That is how we should understand. Okay. Yeah, Mataji, go ahead. You were asking question. Ask please, Mataji.
Prabhu, like developing humility, Prabhu, for some people it doesn't come naturally. Like
Yeah.
they may be understanding Krishna's presence, but by just their nature and all, they don't seem or look like they're humble. So
Yes.
you cannot fake it at the same time too. So
Yeah.
how-
Oh, yeah. That is true. One should not fake artificially. One should not pose himself that I am very humble by some bodily posture like that. So for that we need to understand what really humility means. So our idea of humility may not match with the real conception of humility sometimes. So people think humility means he should be very soft spoken person, very gentle, always smiling, never getting angry on anyone. Whatever you say, he just accept and listen and agrees. May not be necessarily that is humility. And that might be the nature of the person. Now, on the contrary, you will see the person who looks little very strict, and sometimes he shows the anger and talk little strongly about certain things. Say this person is not at all humble. What kind of devotee he is? So we need to understand humility in the right perspective. Maybe sometime we'll discuss in one of our sessions. I have discussed earlier that humility in detail about in one of the sessions in Sikshastakam. Maybe we'll take up that, but just to keep it very short for today's discussion, we need to understand humility very carefully. And yes, we should not artificially try to fake that. Okay. And there's another question here. It is okay to ask for things like protection of our children and his blessings to keep them in the awareness of him, or does a prapanna should not ask and just wait his maha vivashwam something? Okay, so I got your question. So it is
Mahavishwasam. I mean, is it okay to ask? Is it considered material things to ask for them to be in the spiritual path?
yes, it is okay. There's nothing like, see, there's nothing like black and white that this is right and this is wrong. It's a scale. But when it's not like 0 and 1. If you ask for material things, you are 0 Krishna conscious, you are not devotee, you are materialistic person. And if you say Krishna, I want to surrender completely, you are 1. Between 0 and 1, there is a scale, the whole scale. So we start the journey from 0 and towards the 1. But you can be somewhere. So we have to do a little practical also. So Krishna actually permits this. Krishna says in the Bhagavatam explains, Akama sarva kamava moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena. So Krishna says that there might be different approaches. So either it can be akama. Akama means there's no desire, selflessness, selfless surrender. That is the topmost. If you come with that, the topmost thing. But sarvakama means you have a lot of desires, lot of wants and demands. Krishna says, okay, you come to me, no problem. Dhruva Maharaj is the example. Dhruva was having the desire to have the kingdom bigger than his own father. So Krishna did not reject, hey, why you are coming with all these materialistic ideas? First you purify yourself from material desires and surrender to me. Not like that. So the point is, with whatever triggers you to go towards Krishna is considered favorable, right? But gradually, Krishna is so expert that when you go with some materialistic desires also, he will purify you. So best example is Dhruv Maharaj. He went to Krishna, to ask that give me the bigger kingdom than your father. And then he did all that tapasya with that intention to ask for the kingdom. And then we know from that Leela, and that how when Lord appears in front of him and he blessed him and he says, okay, now ask. Now Lord need not to say that, tell me what you want, because Lord knows everything, sitting on heart as per man. He knows that what he wants. But still, he asked him that, okay, tell me what you want. And then what Dhruv says, Kachan vichin one api na divya ratnam swamin katartho na varam na yache. He says, my dear Lord, I don't want anything. What I was asking was the broken pieces of glasses. And what I got now is the diamond. I don't want anything. When I saw your darshan, I got you. What else I want? So we may go to Krishna, as Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita also. Text number 7.16 you can read. Artho artharthi jigyasu gyani cha bharatarsva. Chaturvidha bhajante mam. Jana sukrati no Arjuna. So four kinds of people. Artho means distressed. Artharthi with some materialistic desires. Gyani and jigyasu. Anybody can go to the Lord. Lord says, please come. So it is okay to go with the materialistic desires. But gradually, with the process of practicing Krishna consciousness, you will realize that, it is not worth asking all these materialistic things going to Krishna. You're going to the king in the palace and then you're asking for some, some few bucks. Krishna, and then the king can give you the entire palace or the entire city if you wish. So rather not to ask. Let Krishna decide that what he wants to give us. And when he will give, and that will be the best thing. Okay, Mandaji? That is the answer. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry. Can I ask Prabhu?
Yeah.
So Prabhu, surrender means like anything happen in our life, we have to accept it because that is sanctioned by Krishna. So then only it's like 100% surrender, Prabhu. So pure devotees, whatever happen in their life, they'll accept it, right, Prabhu? But maybe in the initial stages and all, we don't do 100% surrender.
Yeah, so the question is like when something happens in your life, accept it as Krishna's will, and that is considered as 100% surrender, or we should still struggle to try to fix the situations or things like that. Yes. So the point is, you should do your best, whatever you can do, and still things won't work out in the way you are desiring. Then accept that as Krishna's sanction and Krishna's will. So if you remember in the previous discussions, we were talking about Prabhupada was struggling, working hard, fighting for that land in Jew temple, right? So the surrender doesn't make us, what do you say, irresponsible, and not to do your duties, not to take care of your part.
Man.
And then after that, you think that I have given my best. And after that, whatever results comes, that accept that as Krishna's sanction.
Okay, Prabhu. And the second question is like, so pure devotees, they are 100% surrendered, right, Prabhu? So like only in their life, Krishna will like completely involve. But for the normal people, Krishna will involve only as much as we surrender, right, Prabhu?
Yeah, so 4.11 you can read, Ye yathamam prapadyante tam stam bhajamyaham. So Krishna is the most sophisticated, most sensitive personality, that he don't want to interrupt our free will. So he said, to the degree you want to surrender, to that degree I'll reciprocate. So if you surrender 100%, I can reciprocate 100%. 10% you want my involvement and 90% you want to take care, you take care. So he don't want to impose forcefully himself on us. Yeah, that is true. That is the principle.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Maybe just last question. It is a difficult task, but if we begin to believe that whatever is happening is because of Krishna's wish, life will be more easy and peaceful. Yes, you understood today's discussion. Thank you for putting this comment. So make your life very easy. becoming completely surrendered and dependent on Krishna while doing your duties very responsibly and very carefully. Please don't misunderstand this. Surrender to Krishna means, or depending on Krishna means being irresponsible in executing your duties. You still has to do, and actually the devotees go out of the way to do their duties. But the duty for what? That we are understanding here. Duty, or whatever you do, your occupational duty, which helps you to go closer and closer to Krishna, not some random and materialistic activities and say, okay, let me do my best, and not like that. Ultimately, the goal is how we can become more and more dependent and surrender to Krishna. So those duties you do and do more responsibly, and rest Krishna will take care. Okay, so with this we'll close. I know that I exceeded the time limit, and I want to take this time today because we are finishing the series of the 6 principles, and we'll come up with another interesting something. So for that you have to wait, stay tuned, and we'll have more discussions. So just now, let us quickly chant one round of Hare Krishna mantra as we discussed 6 principles. Anukulasya Sankalpa. One of the most favorable item in Saranagati is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So those who are not started, this is our sincere and humble prayers to every one of you. Many of you might be already chanting. Those who are chanting, you can increase your number of rounds or at least increase your quality of chanting. And those who are not yet started consistently chanting, please take up this process of chanting every day consistently, very seriously. And you will see Krishna's hand, Krishna's reciprocation, a lot of transformation in your heart. Okay, so let us chant now one round of Hare Krishna mantra together. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna